going back to 2017, my band has been running under the title John Kennedy's 68 Comeback Special, which is of course a reference to Elvis's 68 Comeback Special television special. So John Kennedy's 68 Comeback Special put out an album that the title of the album played on the name of my first band. It gets all quite complicated. My first band was JFK and the Cuban Crisis. We called this album JFK and the Midlife Crisis. So that was 2017. It was a loosely formed concept album that had a narrative about a guy that had been an independent musician living in Sydney, and he had not had commercial success, had drifted away from music. Not me, obviously, because I'm hugely successful. So this was him looking back at the golden years of Australian independent music when he was in a band in Sydney in the 1980s. So, using part of my own story and then expanding on it. And I thought it was just fun, sort of going back to the idea of having a concept album like Jethro Tull and Rick Wakeman. So we put together this a narrative arc through the songs, and it finished with the song called Strawberry Hills Forever. So again, a wordplay on Strawberry Fields Forever, but Strawberry Hills was a pub in Surrey Hills where a lot of bands in the 80s started, like the Triffids, the Hoodoo Gurus, the Scientists, my band, JFK and the Cuban Crisis. They all started in this tiny little pub, really grungy pub, but that was where the scene was. So I called the song Strawberry Hills Forever, and I name-checked the Triffids and the Scientists in the song and just sort of said, it might not have been a great commercial success, but at least we were all part of a wonderful, fertile time where everybody that we knew was engaged in creative endeavours. If you weren't in a band, you were helping do the artwork for a band, or people went into videos, or people formed their own record labels or fanzines. People were totally active in this post-punk DIY culture, and it was really incredibly exciting and vibrant. So that was what my song was celebrating, and the album came out, and then I was thinking about what are the next project going to be, and I thought, well, I've name-checked these bands, so the next logical step would be to actually cover these bands. And so in 2019 we did an album of cover versions of Australian independent songs, and it was pretty much taking my 7-inch vinyl record collection, my favourite Australian singles from that era, the golden era of Australian indie, and doing our cover versions. And we did do the Scientists' Swampland, we did do the Triffids' Raining Pleasure, which from where we got the name for the project Raining Treasure. We covered the Go-Betweens, and we took their song Lee Remick, which I was talking about earlier, and we turned it into a waltz number, a folky waltz number. So we tried to sort of put our spin and find different ways into the songs. So that was called Raining Treasure Volume 1, and I'm down in Melbourne at the moment. We have recently recorded and released Raining Treasure Volume 2, and that we've gone deeper into Australian indie and also broader. So we're going deeper and sort of picking songs from bands like God and their single My Pal, which is not one that most people would jump at to do a cover version of. So we've done that, dove deeper into Australian indie, but also we've gone wider. We've also included the Angels in Australian indie, and we do a folky waltz version of Am I Ever Going to See Your Face Again? So we're just doing stuff that we like, that we've got a lot of affection for, and trying to do an interesting take on these songs and try and bring something new to them, but always with a lot of affection for the songs.